All right, everybody. Good evening, and super excited that you guys are here. We've got people joining from all over the place, and it's always fun to see your bright, smiley faces. Gosh, what's your solution? When you look at all these different pictures on here, I'm sure that you can come up with a lot of different things. But one thing that I want to share first as we're getting started is I absolutely love what I do, and part of that is because I can do my job from anywhere. I'm traveling right now, and as long as I have internet and my computer, I'm good to go. But tonight, I want to start by just talking about addiction. So, addiction is something that I have witnessed firsthand. I'm sure if you haven't experienced it with somebody that you love or yourself, or it's somebody that you work with, it is all over the place. And part of where ours started with was simple going in for a root canal, getting a prescription for the pain, and it changed a life forever. So thousands and thousands of people get the prescribed something, and I think that more and more we are learning that the things that we've learned in the past, so I'm old, so growing up it was whatever the doctor says, run to the doctor, you do what the doctor says, you take it till it's gone, and you don't question it. And I just have this simple question to you guys of, first is, I feel like we need to unlearn what we've learned and relearn something new, something that works. And part of that is because, why would we depend on or rely on something that is not getting us any better or made us sick in the first place? Oh gosh, man, this could be like a real big topic, but it is truly one of the reasons that I got so involved with doTERRA from the very beginning, is because I wanted natural solutions. I wanted to be able to, support my family with an option that would not hurt them and that would not cause, side effects and different things like that. Because not only does the person who's, going through, all these different pains, I mean, when you go, there's something really going on, and you need to be able to, have something that can support you. And so I'm happy to say that years and years, it's been, like 16 years now that I've been on the natural wellness path, and I couldn't be more grateful for my friends, my family, and for all of you guys who are here. Okay, so one thing I love about natural solutions, and especially doTERRA. So when we're giving these classes at night, you guys, and if you're sharing them or have questions or comments, I want you to remember that it's only doTERRA that we are giving recommendations for. So if you see a recipe or a protocol and you go to your cupboard and you reach for something, just know that it's not going to be the same, and it's not to be used the same. Going back to part of why I have been so involved with doTERRA for so long is, knowing that people can come over to my house, people can go into my bathroom, and I don't have to worry about them going through the medicine cabinet. I mean, this is something that in today's world, you can't leave prescriptions and different things around. What if a kid gets their hands on them? Well, with the same things that we're going to talk about in the protocols for tonight, I want you to know that they have been tested. They've been tested all over the place, and I love that they're mom tested, they're kid tested, they're approved by many, many hospitals and doctors, and they are safe. Without a doubt, the things that we want to remind you guys is you never want to put them directly in your eyes, up your nose, or directly in your ears. And the other part is they're extremely effective. So within seconds of putting an essential on, or putting it, on the roof of your mouth, under your tongue, or what I love is being able to put it topical exactly where I need it. So back to that picture where we had, elbows and shoulders and knees. Oh my, it was, you could put the essential oils, the blends right there, and you can use them as often as you need to. You don't have to worry about overuse, or did I use it already? Did I already have it? You're able to use them. And they're extremely effective because as soon as they hit your body, within seconds, they're going into your bloodstream. They're going, if you're smelling them, they're going up into your nose. It's telling your brain exactly what to do with it, how your body should react. What I love also is I remember early on learning that, if somebody has an injury on their right leg, and you really want to get essential oils on there, but you can't because it's, maybe it's casted or maybe it's all wrapped up. You can treat the left leg and it will transfer that information to the other side and give you that benefit. Also, by just diffusing in the room, you don't have to put it on. You can also diffuse, and that's where it goes into those senses and it goes to your brain and tells your body how to react. Now, I also want to remind you guys that there's so many things, you guys, when you're reading labels and warnings, and if you go to the pharmacy and you get a prescription and you're rolling out the wallpaper of what you're supposed to do with it, when you're supposed to take it, and all the different side effects that might happen, that with essential oils we're getting side benefits. And then my favorite thing, especially when we're talking about pain and inflammation, and is there is no addiction. All right, so our body, what's in our body, the things that we're around, if we're getting exposed to a lot of different smells and toxins and different things like that, if we're not eating properly, if we're not eating the right types of food, back again to what we've already learned, we need to relearn, because in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, we can't get the nutrition that our bodies need to be able to have the fuel to give us the energy to have us be able to sustain without supplementing. Now, in here, right in the center, inflammation. So our bodies, I yet to meet anyone who doesn't have some kind of inflammation in their body somewhere. It's all over the place. And what we know is it is the root to a lot of dis-ease that we're going through. So tonight we're going to really target this topic. And I want you guys, if you guys have your phones ready, take screenshots of some of this stuff, because I'm not going to be able to go through all of the recipes and things because there's just too much to cover tonight in such a short time. I am going to highlight this book. This is one of my favorite books. You can get it at oillife.com. It's called The Essential Life Book. Now, what's great about it is you can look up anything, from camping and hiking to, giving birth to babies, to how to cook with essential oils. But here we've got a small sample of, if you look about halfway down the page, you've got back muscle fatigue, you've also got back pain and back stiffness. And next to it, it's going to show if it's aromatic, topical, or internal, which would be the best ways to use it. And then it's going to give the main reasons that you would use those essential oils. Now, you can, like I said, if you don't have this resource, you're going to want to, try to find it somehow. There's some apps out there. And so, reach out to the person who invited you here if you want some ideas on where to get the best, reliable, trusted sources. I'll have people come in and they'll have, can you make this roller bottle for me? And there'll be 32 different oils. And I'm like, wait, what are you trying to solve? Because there's way too many essential oils for something pretty basic. And so then, they'll go, well, this is what they recommended on Pinterest. And I'm like, okay, let's start with what are you trying to solve? And then, we'll get our books out and we'll see which one's going to be best for you. We can come up with a really great protocol or remedy. Okay, so also they're not only safe, but they're super effective. Now I've got pictures of kids here because everybody, if you've been around a little at all, you know that they have, that ear that might be really uncomfortable, or sometimes it's like whether it's teething or maybe braces, or like for my son, it was a root canal. And so everyone at every age is able to use these. Now, in the picture on the left bottom, I have a picture of clove, peppermint, copaiba, frankincense, and you guys, and it's in a glass. So these are so easy to use and to apply. I love On Guard's not on here. It's not my first hand reach, but anytime there's something going on with your mouth. So my husband has a cracked tooth right now, which is causing him a lot of pain. He's like, it only hurts when I open my mouth, talk, or eat. And I'm like, oh, well, that's pretty much all the time. So what I was able to do for him is take some clove, put it in a little spray bottle with some water. I added some coconut oil just so it would stay on that surface a little bit longer. And then what's great about it is he can just spray it in his mouth. Like littles, what I also will do is I'll recommend taking your pinky, touching the top of that bottle. You don't even need a full drop, and then just taking it right to the area that is sore. Now, with a lot of times, you guys, there are different protocols that you can use, and I love, so on the outside of like the jaw, so for instance, for the root canal, putting clove oil, and you could take this blend right here, put it in a little glass or in a dropper bottle, or you can use a repurposed bottle, put those oils in there, and you can see there's a Q-tip. Put a little bit on the Q-tip. You could put it right on that area. You could bite down on it if you need to. You could just touch it, rub it onto the area, and within seconds you're going to start getting some benefit. Now, not only is clove a high in antioxidants, which means it's fighting off those free radicals, keeping our mouth protected for all kinds of other things. When you've got it on the outside of the jaw, say the teething, or when people get their braces tightened or something, you could put just a little bit of clove. It's something I love, and I'll just put like a little tiny here. I'll dilute it sometimes with coconut oil or castor oil, and then I'll put just a little bit of deep blue rub or the stick over the top. You guys, it's magic, and you can apply it as often as you need to. Gosh, we could go all over anytime there's pain or inflammation. A lot of times people forget about clove, because clove is something that is numbing. Then it's something that you can put it on topical around the area, and then of course we've got copaiba, frankincense. You'll hear us talk about some of these oils over and over and over. Okay, so no side effects, no addiction. So when it comes to pain, there are 3 oils that I reach for very first. Now, whether I'm reaching for the sticks now that we have them, or I'm doing some kind of combination, and believe you me, if we asked every person on here tonight, tell us your favorite recipe or blend for, you could put your knee, your toes, your shoulders, inside your mouth, everyone here would have a different answer, and they're all right. And that's another thing that I love about essential oils, is you can mix them and blend them for exactly what is it that my body needs. And when we can get to the root cause of it. So, say my shoulder hurts, but it's like, okay, why is my shoulder hurting? Is it the way that I was sleeping? Is it some kind of an emotional something that I've been holding on to on my shoulder? Is it something where I've got it, I got shut in a car door? And there's all these different reasons why that could be there. So as soon as we can find that root, then we can start working backwards and supporting it the best way. Now, one thing I love about Deep Blue, you guys, I refer to it as aspirin in a bottle. And it's anytime you would use, something like that, and over the counter, then you could use this Deep Blue. A little bit, small bottle, 85 drops. 1 drop really is all you need. So if you've got something going on your entire shoulder, what I recommend is taking a drop or 2 of the Deep Blue, putting it like in the palm of your hand, or you can make it into a roller or whatever, but adding a little bit of unscented lotion, or you could also do like our castor oil, and just rub it together and put it on that area, because 1 or 2 drops is very effective and you don't need like 15 just to cover the area. Now, this is going to be really effective when you have any kind of aches or discomfort, especially if you've overdone it. Maybe you've been, working in your yard, or, cleaning your house, or going to the gym. I mean, who knows? Everybody has their different things. And this one is really great for tired or overworked muscles. It also comes in a stick and a rub, which we'll get to in just a few minutes. Now, past tense. Past tense is one that has been a flagship essential oil for a really long time. Some people love it, some people don't. And it's because it has things like cilantro. So, you guys, one of the things that causes a lot of pain and a body that is unhappy is when we're exposed to heavy metals. Now, so many times we don't think about it, we overlook it. It can have things to do with your mood. It could have things it could have to do with your mind being all over the place. It can also have to do with, not, allergies and stomach upset and things. So past tense has cilantro, marjoram. All of these three up here have peppermint and marjoram in them, so they have that in common. A lot of times when you have that tension, so you think of your head and you feel really tight in your forehead, or maybe it's in your temples, or maybe sometimes I'll ask people, where does the pain start? Is it in the crown of the head and moves forward, or is it at the base, or is it right up on top, or is it by the eyes? So I learned a really good lesson first with past tenses. It used to come in a roller bottle, and now it comes in a stick or in a 15 ml. So I'll just put a little bit of it on my finger again. I'll go back into the hairline past where my temples are, and I'll just rub that in. And then whatever the residue is left on my fingers, I'll just breathe that in a few times. And it's amazing how instantly it'll open up, and it just gives me that really great sense of relief. Now, tension, think of, gosh, I'm sitting at a computer all day, or I'm driving all day, and maybe I need it on my shoulders or my neck, my lower back. So you really get to say, where is my body feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Is it something that I need to just let go of? And so I love the smell of this one. And then the third one here is aroma touch. So think of this one when you have that really lots of tension. So I remember helping a gal one time. She had lower back pain for a long time. She'd gone to the chiropractor, she'd gone for massages, she'd done all these different things, and she could not get that back to release. And so I'm thinking, and I'm going, ooh, I bet she needs not only things for how the pain is hurting, but also to take those muscles and relax them so that they're able to, just take like a deep breath. So we were able to add serenity and lavender along with past tense, because that was her favorite. And you guys, within minutes, she was able to get some relief. And she'd done all the different things. And so I want you guys to always think outside the box. If I'm trying deep blue and it's not working, then maybe it's aroma touch. And one of my all-time favorites, especially in a nice hot soak, is deep blue and aroma touch together. And you guys know I'm a deep blue and serenity fan too. So just remember, when you're feeling all run down and a little bit overwhelmed, it's like I get to pick from one of these three different ones. Okay, now here we're going to just go straight into neck tension, shoulders, and head. So I was listening to a webinar earlier today on my drive, and it was saying that the most people who get prescribed an opiate are people with neck or shoulder issues. And, we know that there's nothing good that comes from it. Now, some people can take, different kind of pain medications, and the side effect for it could be not necessarily addiction, but maybe it's what it does to your gut and what it does to the rest of your body. And it doesn't get it any better, you guys. These things are just like a Band-Aid or a mask that takes that pain away, but the pain's not leaving, it's just masking it. So for our neck and our shoulder tension, we have marjoram. So marjoram is the oil of connection. I love this one. Both marjoram and peppermint, like I said, are in all three of our inflammation blends. And then the eucalyptus might be that unexpected one. I remember listening to a webinar years and years ago of a fireman who had been injured on the job, and he had lost feeling from his waist down. And yet he was having these phantom pains that were happening in his legs. And the only thing that helped, you guys, when we're talking about all of these different prickly things, like when your feet tingle or you have those sharp pins and needles that happen in your body, he was having this, but he had a, I can't remember if he was an amputee or if he was just paralyzed, but he was having these phantom pains. And when they added eucalyptus to the blend, it solved his issue. And I've never forgotten that. And so that's something you might just kind of tuck away or write down in your notebook. Now, when we go to head tension, we've got roller blends, you guys. Now, you can make these into roller bottle blends. You can also make them into diffusers. My rule of thumb when you're making oils into a roller is you'll want 1/3 of the bottle to be filled with essential oil, and 2/3 of it to be your carrier. And you guys, I love fractionated coconut oil because it doesn't have any fat, it doesn't have any scent, and it will not go rancid. So when people say, how long is this bottle, is it going to expire? And I had this gal just ask me this. She goes, I want to make some balms, some like for aches and things like that. She goes, but how long do they last? And I said, well, it depends on your product. You guys always have to look at the product that you're putting in, and is there an expiration date on that? But our essential oils, as long as there's something in the bottle, I'm 100% going to use it. All right, so frankincense, or let's see, head tension. So I had a guy come in, a high school student, just could not get rid of all of the tension in his head. And so we had him put a drop of peppermint and a drop of frankincense on his thumb, put it in the roof of his mouth, and within minutes, he's like, Mom, it's gone. And she was kind of like, are you sure? Are you just, drinking the Kool-Aid type thing? And he's like, no, Mom, it's really gone. And so, of course, they were able to take that home. Now, I want to point out that Past Tense and Deep Blue both have safety caps on them. They have safety caps on them. They're not meant to take internally. And you can always look at the supplement facts. But when you can take something internally, gosh, I'll tell you what, especially sometimes from the inside out, like when I was talking about, stuff going on in your mouth, like the Deep Blue, you heard me say I put it on the outside edge of the jaw. I don't put it inside the mouth. And then, hey, Sarah's here with us. She's going to help kind of co-teach with me. So when you have something you want to say, raise your hand or just unmute yourself and just feel free to start chatting. Okay, so this next one, you guys, is pretty intense with all of the things that are on here because we're not only talking about muscles and joints. So I used to have a recipe called joint juice, and it's pretty much the recipe that's shown here with the Deep Blue, the copaiba, lavender, and peppermint, but we also love to put Siberian fir in there. So you guys don't forget that our fir oils are really great for joint issues. Plus, I just love the smell of them. And again, so a lot of times people will say, well, how many oils? Like when I said a third oil, 2/3 coconut oil, it's like, oh, I know, but what does that mean? Well, you guys reach out to me, go grab your books, go into Good Vibes, do some research, or just ask. Because if you're looking at a recipe, so for instance, the one right up here that has 10 drops of Deep Blue, 5 copaiba, 5 lavender, 5 peppermint, if you wanted to add 5 Siberian fir, great. Just make sure, like I would just go ahead and use some of those, and if you've got questions about it, just reach out to the person who invited you here. And then let's see, we've got just a pain relief. So frankincense, copaiba, Deep Blue, Aroma Touch, lavender, and turmeric. Now you'll notice that this is for a 10 ml roller, and that's quite a few oils, right? That might be more than the 1/3. So if you are sensitive, or if you're making this for somebody who is sensitive to all kinds of things, like say they drink a cup of coffee and it completely wires them, then you could cut those oils in half and start there. And then if you feel like you want to add more, then go ahead. Now I'm going to point out that we have veggie caps here, and I know Diana's here, and I'm hoping that she'll be able to share with us some of the things that she uses, because she has one called pain in the neck. She has another immunity one. She's famous for carrying around empty gel caps with little bottles of oils, and she's like, hey, wait, let me make you this blend, and putting them in there. And so if they're safe to take internal, you can put the oils in the capsule. If you have a sensitive stomach, or sometimes if you're using essential oils that are hot, like, I don't know how many of you guys know PJ Hanks, but she suffers from fibromyalgia, and her favorite thing to do is take 2 or 3 drops of ginger, put it right underneath her tongue. Well, if you try doTERRA's ginger, it's pretty potent, and that's a lot. So she'll always say, get on your big girl panties because it's time. But you could also put that into a capsule. Now, if you have a sensitive stomach, or you're using oils that are hotter, then just put your oils in there and then add some, olive oil or castor oil. Well, not the castor oil for this. Maybe the fractionated coconut oil. Just fill that up, and it will help to deliver those oils a little bit gentler to your body. Now, the last recipe on here is Happy Bones. So this is another recipe for a 10 ml roller. Now this one, you guys, this is great for anybody who is dealing with something in their hips, possibly your knees. Gosh, we could do an entire class on knees. We've got quite a few people who've had knee replacements. My husband, about, let's see, we're at 2 years now, has had his hip replaced. And I'll tell you, essential oils have been such a lifesaver because, you know, when he was at the doctor's office in the hospital, they gave him the pain stuff. But as soon as we got home, it was time for him to, you know, use essential oils topically. We had him taking them internally too. So I'm so grateful for these products and the way that we can use them. And, you know, they're safe, they're effective. We don't have to worry about anything else. Okay, so this recipe, there's two here. So there's Spirit Animal, and then you'll notice that there's a Spirit Animal 2.0. So as she was able to just kind of research and study more, she found that one was, you know, good, and then if she wanted a little bit more of a kick to the recipe, then we added the 2.0. Now this gal has that fibro that I was telling you about. When I met her, she was using a walker, always had a cane, and was having a really difficult time, was always in a lot of pain. You know, and when you guys, so when we have pain, how many of you guys are happy and ready to go help everybody else and let's go throw a party? It's like, heck to the no. It's like, when I'm in pain, I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to talk to anybody. I can't sleep. I don't want to eat. I just want to sit in a corner, you know. So it's really important, you guys, that we find things that are effective for us, that we can get results. Now, this Spirit Animal is something that is also in our Good Vibes recipe book. But you guys, this has changed so many lives. We make it up in a roller at the store and we sell it retail. It is very effective. We've got people, everything from, you know, my wrists, my hands, my hips, my knees. And if you look at the oils that are in here, it's got the big boys in there, right? And on that 2.0, she's added the lemongrass. And when you look at how many drops, it's pretty much essential oil. There's not a whole lot of carrier. You could also take this recipe for any of you guys who like to make your own salves or balms and put these same oils in a balm, and then you could rub it on. You know, yeah, it'd be amazing. As I'm sitting here saying that, the other day, my husband, he's kind of, you know, walking with a little bit of a limp, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? And he's like, oh, I'm just warming up, Hayley. And I'm like, get on the table. So I got him on there and I was rubbing it out. And if I'd had this balm made up, it would have been super handy to just be able to help him. Okay, Sarah?
I just tweak it a little bit and I make it in a veggie capsule. We've done that for all of us, actually, but we did it a lot for Jeremiah with his situation. So obviously there are some that you can't take internally. So we just tweaked it a little bit and found the substitution, but it's awesome in a veggie capsule as well.
Such good news. So when you put it in a veggie, so a couple of things about making it into a master blend, and you can see right here on the picture on the left, that's a dropper bottle, not a roller. And part of it is because if she's talking about making it into a dropper and being able to put it into a capsule, is when you have that blend. So when somebody comes into the store and they say, hey, could you just make me this real quick? Or if I'm making a little, you know, whatever. If I were to make it again and again and again, each time I do it, gosh, what if I get one extra drop of frankincense? Or what if there's, you know, one less drop of marjoram? It's not going to hurt the recipe at all, but it's going to change the outcome. And so when we make a master blend like that and you just take and you drop it into there, it makes it so easy to be able to use. And then on the go too, right, Sarah? It's like, and those little, you guys, a lot of times people are like, what do you do with all your empty bottles? Well, I soak them in water, and then I take the labels off and I make master blends in them. And then I'll write it on a paper with a piece of tape around it or something so that I know exactly what's in there and it's easy to use. Okay. All right, so sciatica, this is another thing that we hear a lot. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't take it. You know, it's like, and people were like, okay, well, I don't know if it's in my hip. I don't know if it's in my knee. I don't know if it's in my foot, because it's running all the way up and down. And so you guys, this has got some great recommendations. Whether it's, the burning, the numbness, the tingling, the pins of the needles, it's all real. And again, you'll see, that deep blue. So I love putting the essential oils on first, and then I put on the rub or the deep blue stick. Now, why I do that is because it gives the oil a little bit of a chance to go into the skin and get working into the bloodstream and into the cells. And then that thicker stick or rub is going to keep it on the surface and keep it topical a little bit longer. Now, one of the things that I'm in love with the castor oil also, and it has some antioxidant benefits and some pain stuff. It is a little thicker, but you guys, it absorbs very, very quickly into the skin. Now, earlier when you heard me say, make a veggie cap and then put castor oil in it, well, it also has cleansing effects, and it'll get the body moving. So that's why I said, no, don't put that one in your capsule unless you need it or are used to it. It's not going to hurt you. Like, I know if I put it in a capsule that I was making, it would be no big deal. But depending on each person, it might be a little different. So, all right, you guys. So then we also have Soothing Blue. So we've taken this is one of my favorite blends. And so you'll see here it has copaiba, turmeric. It has the Siberian fir, the marjoram. You guys, each one of those, whether it's for joints or ligaments or just muscles or tension, all of them work synergistically together, and you just get a really great result. Now, in the middle here, we do something very, very simple. So a lot of times people will say, I know, but I don't have 15 of those oils, or I only have 3 of them. Well, if you have marjoram and frankincense, that's a great combination to work together. And you can see you can put it in a veggie cap. And when I'm talking veggie caps, in those capsules, I'm thinking like 4 or 5 drops at the most, and you don't need a whole lot of it. So with the frankincense, you could use marjoram. And if you don't have marjoram, you could use oregano. Now, oregano is a little bit warmer, but I'll tell you what, it's very, very effective, especially if you need heat. I remember long ago going to a massage, and I was super tight in my back, and she's like, I'm going to put some black pepper on your back. And I'm like, huh? And she goes, no, it's going to warm it up. It's going to get the muscles moving. It's going to get everything, it's going to be really nice. And it was really great, you guys. Oregano is hot, so just use it with your brain. And we keep the oregano touch in our medicine drawer because we use it so often. Okay, and then there's also a nerve soother. I want you guys to pay attention to something. Have you noticed how many times lemongrass has come up? Have you noticed how many times frankincense has come up? How many times copaiba? And for all kinds of different things. So I want you to know that you don't have to have 20 different things. If you have 1 or 2, then get it out and get it on. Be more consistent. You're going to get a really great result. Now, there are some oils that are going to be specific in the way that it supports your body. And that's where we, go, okay, well, this is what's happening. Let me be an investigator. Let's get to the root and find out exactly what I need. And don't be afraid. If you guys have something you're using and you're not getting a result, what else? Like, what else should I be using? Now, here's a hack. Okay, so Tammy, I don't think Tammy's on the call tonight, but she was telling me, she said, I was talking to a gal at work and she was saying, deep blue for this or that, and I wanted her to use my deep blue, and she goes, oh no, ylang ylang. You use ylang ylang anytime you have pain, and it really helps to comfort. So I'm thinking, what is that all about? So I looked up. You guys follow Scott Johnson. Scott Johnson is amazing. Go to Facebook. He sits on the scientific and doctors panel for doTERRA, and he's like the bomb diggity. He doesn't have, well, I'm not going to say anything else. All right. So, but ylang ylang is one of those hidden secrets. And I'm also going to say ylang ylang emotionally. Put a few drops of that in a gel cap and take it internally. And it's like having your own little happy pill. You could put a drop of Melissa with it. You could put some citrus oils with it. And it makes us happy. So then it's like, okay, why does it actually work? So, it talks about preclinical trials and how, joint swelling and inflammation and pain and all this different stuff and cartilage. And I just want you guys to think of some of our, muscles. And, our heart is one of the largest muscles. Ylang ylang is one of the top number one oils for heart. It's one that I have been, I'm going to say Zytoscan. Every time I Zytoscan, ylang ylang is on that scan for me. And when I look at the emotional and the physical and all the other different things, I look at what's on here and I'm going, okay, well, this makes so much sense. So I want you guys to remember that ylang ylang is, it is also the poor man's jasmine oil. Now, one that we've not talked about at all, which is really important, is helichrysum. You guys, helichrysum is such a great essential oil for pain, for bruising, for bleeding, internal, external. My husband just had a great big cyst taken out of the side of his neck. It goes all the way from his ear all the way down to his shoulder blade. And 1 week later, it's still there, but it is healing up so quick. And the doctors are just like, what are you putting on here? Well, Correct X, helichrysum, frankincense. It's like we have so many really great tools for us. You guys, I don't know if this link in here is clickable or not for you guys, but I just went to social media. I found him on Facebook, and then I searched ylang ylang and got that. When we have the recording, I'll put the link in there for you guys. Okay, so enhance your movement. Now we're going to get into our supplements. So I talked about Deep Blue. There's a stick, there's a rub, there's also a capsule. The capsule is not the same as the oil. It's something completely different. So this one, I had a gal call me a couple days ago and she says, my husband wrecked on his motorcycle. I need some help. And I need you to, she goes, I get it. The bottle said take 2, so I've given him 2, but I'm afraid to give him any more. And I'm like, oh no, 2 would be just like a normal use for somebody. But when you go through something extreme, you can always do less, more often. Okay, so you don't want to take 6 of them in the morning and go, oh, I'm good all day. You want to take 2 in the morning, maybe 1 in the afternoon or 2, just depending on, where your pain is, and then before you go to bed at night when your body's into recovery. Now, I'm also going to talk about frankincense right here, because frankincense, gosh, you guys, the bomb diggity. Anytime you're in doubt, get that frankincense out. And these capsules are just, they're amazing. They not only have the essential oil, but it also has the resin in there, which gives us next level support. And then we've got the turmeric capsules, which are patented. It's like you've got the oil and the herb in the same one. And what's great about it is before, when you would have the powder or the herb, you would need to take something like black pepper or olive oil or something with it for it to be able to be absorbed by your body. Now with our little capsule, it's all in one, so you can get all the benefit. Copaiba, and then, of course, to keep ourselves hydrated. Let's see. Sarah, do you want to talk about some of these supplements?
Of course I do. So she has turmeric and deep blue polyphenol, and I'm just going to talk about our personal experience, what works for us. I'm not going to talk about, the deeper dive of them, but turmeric and deep blue polyphenol are used nightly for Luke and I specifically. Every once in a while after Jeremiah's situation, we can talk about that later, but he comes home from all of the screen time and all the things now that they do at school, which is a whole other story. But he comes home with a migraine because of all that light. And so he immediately reaches for the deep blue polyphenol and the copaiba, which we'll talk about in a second, I believe, too. And those are his 2 favorite supplements to take as soon as he walks in the door. And the turmeric, so what I like about the turmeric is it's actually a dual chamber capsule. So it actually, the delivery system, your body will not just break it down and spit it out. So bodies like myself that don't have a colon, I actually absorb the turmeric because it is a dual chamber. So it's going to deliver it with the essential oil, and then it has the complex side. So it has the actual turmeric, we'll say plant, it breaks it down. The deep blue polyphenol, what I love about that is they actually designed it so that when we deliver it, it's the deep blue oil. We'll put it in a capsule form. We'll say it's absolutely safe for you to take. But the polyphenol is all those fruits and vegetables that are super bright colors, All of those colors that we don't get enough of, those are the polyphenols that your body actually needs. So when you're taking these two together, I call it the powerful duo, because when you put them together, the turmeric actually delivers the deep blue polyphenol deeper, because that's what the turmeric's job is to do. Oh, I did good. She just clicks. So the frankincense capsules, I wish Jeremiah was in here because he just went down to we have a football game. But the frankincense capsules, he calls it, and I cry every time, it's his calm in his storm. And the frankincense capsules with boswellic acid. So it's not just frankincense. You see those little beads, that's the boswellic acid. And that delivery system, when they made this complex, I was blown away when they talked about it, because they've been trying to design this, I believe, for 5 years. I believe that's what
Oh,
they
it's
said at
more
that
like
convention.
11.
Okay. So when they were trying to design it, they just had to keep tweaking it. So over 11 years, which is great because that's how old Jeremiah is. So when they designed this, they had to make it so perfect that the body wouldn't just spit it out, that it wouldn't just take it and just spit it out. So the delivery system with the boswellic acid, it actually slows it down and it absorbs it. So the cells actually will regenerate as it uses the frankincense boswellic acid. It's a beautiful thing. You really should go and research it. But for Jeremiah, it has been for his mind. So the mind and the pain. Luke takes it for pain. He uses it for a lot for his inflammation, specifically in the morning when you wake up and you're kind of like, yeah, I'm not sure this body is really able to do what my mind thinks it can. That has helped him a lot. The frankincense stick is one of those versatile things, and I'm going to tell you about my mom's story real fast. She had, gosh, what is that called?
It's
Baker's
on
cyst.
here. Her testimonial is on the
Oh, it
screen.
is? Okay, cool. I'm on my cell phone. So she has a Baker's cyst, and she gets them on her hands and on her knees every once in a while. And she started putting that on because she's like, I have no other reason to use this frankincense stick. So now she does it everywhere. And she puts it on from head to toe, under her eyes. She literally has a stick in the car everywhere we go. But that took away her Baker's cyst, and she has no pain. So usually it'll attach to those tendons. She has no pain. It dissipated all of the pain. So if you don't have a frankincense stick, very inexpensive, you need to get one. I promise you.
Okay, so do you want to talk about copaiba really quick? Because I didn't highlight that one. Okay, go ahead.
I do, because I think it's so vital in this with these slides with pain and inflammation. Because when we're talking about inflammation, most people will reach for CBD. It's very interesting. That's like the big thing right now. Well, copaiba is equivalent to CBD without the THC. So we don't want that THC. We don't want that to bind to that. So the actual copaiba attaches to those cells and tells your brain to go, similar to adaptive, because it has GABA, has GABA. So what's great about the copaiba is it tells your mind, hey, slow her down. You are literally triggering everything. It's making your nerves flash, and it's making everything just go berserk. So like when I have pain from my incision marks, every once in a while I'll have those phantom pains. Copaiba is the first thing I reach for. They also did all of this research on copaiba, and copaiba actually is helping people with other things. So not only your mind, so the mind inflammation, that's what I call it. Anxiety is mind inflammation. That's my new little thing that I went down this rabbit hole. So your body's inflammation from head to toe, they've done so much research on just internalizing copaiba morning and night, what it is doing for all of your cells. It is magnificent. You really, really should look into that too.
All right, so now we're going to shift into the nutrition deficiency that we're all experiencing. And, like I said earlier, there's no way that we can get the proper nutrition from what's available in the grocery stores, especially if we're going out to eat a lot and, doing all this stuff. It's like, gosh, I was listening to a webinar again, and they were talking about every single food item has wax added to it. Wax. And if you look at like your produce, like your apples are a great example. It's like, what is this on this apple? And it's like, so being able to like clean them the best we can, grow our own every chance we get, farmers markets, and, our neighbors using pesticides. And I was listening to a testimonial of a gentleman who as he got older in high school and was playing sports, he was a really great athlete. Well, then by the time he was a senior, all of a sudden he was winded all the time and he had all these aches in his body. Well, he was a farmer and they were coming through and they would spray the crops with, Roundup and all the stuff. And process of elimination, they were going, oh my gosh, he has been over toxified and his body has been poisoned, and then he's got these different results. Okay, so going into our food is really important that we get stuff that's super healthy for us. Now, a lot of times we're going, okay, lifelong vitality versus VMG. You guys, it's been 16 years that I've been on these two products, lifelong vitality for years and years until they came out with VMG. Now, some people like one for one reason or another. What I do know is these products are bioavailable. Again, I love that doTERRA spends the time, the resources, the money, the science to make sure that our bodies are actually able to break down these capsules and absorb it into our cells. That we're taking that nutrition and it's turning into energy instead of just going through the body. We have 3 different ones that are in the Lifelong Vitality, which is Microplex VMZ. We have Alpha CRS, and then we have our E Omega Plus, which is so good. I'll go every once in a while, I'll just go to the drawer, pull one out, and pop it in my mouth and chew it like a gummy, and I'll just sit and chew on it because I take about, I'm going to say at least 6 of those a day. And some people are like, what? But it's, you guys, it's because my mind and my heart deserve to have extra care. And I know that it needs it, and so that's what I get to do. Now, the VMG Plus is a powder form, so if you are somebody who doesn't like to take capsules or just on the go or love the greens, I love VMG Plus. I switched over to that a couple of years ago with doTERRA. I love on the go. You just grab it, you throw it in some water, you can drink it. You can have like a little shot of it, or you can make it into a bigger drink and drink it throughout the day. I know that I feel better when I use it. When my energy is better, I sleep better. And I really if I were to miss it, I have a routine, and here's my 2 cents on routines. I have it right where I get up in the morning and it sits right there on the counter, because if I don't go to that routine and if I skip it and I leave and I go do something else, I forget it. But I'll tell you, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 in the afternoon, I'm going, where's my energy level? I physically can feel that my body's not getting it. And the other thing about this is if you have a really stressful day or a lot going on and maybe you're not getting the proper nutrition, take an extra one of these in the afternoon and see. It's just going to give you that little extra energy, but it's not going to be like a caffeine drink or a sugar rush or any of those things. Okay, so here's more about VMG, you guys. It's got the super blend, it's cellular support, it's got minerals, vitamins, everything you need. We did a display one time. I went and collected all of the fruits and vegetables that were supposed to be in there, and it's a huge basket. It's amazing, and there's no way that we could eat or consume all of that in a day. There's just no way, and yet our bodies are starving for it. And it's all freeze-dried micronutrients, so that it's something that, the vitamins, the antioxidants, the phytonutrients, and it's really great. I love the taste of it. It kind of reminds me of like a pina colada or something. Some people can't get past the green, and that's okay, because they can either take a pill or use something else. I'm not chasing anyone, because I love the way that it makes me feel, and I know what it's done for me. So because there are some of us that are, getting older and older and older. There's a fact, you guys, it's like 70% of older adults report current joint discomfort. And I think that it's getting younger and younger and younger. When I hear Sarah saying, my kids are coming home, well, her one son, they're super, super active. Like they're the most active family that I've ever met. And yet he had an accident that caused him to have a lot of discomfort. But just in general, 22% of the adults have cognitive health challenges. And, 40 to 70% are having sleep problems. Well, when we have that inflammation and that discomfort, it's harder for us to sleep also. So I love that we can kind of customize what it is that we're going for. What do we want more of? What do we want less of? So if, that lifelong vitality or the VMG with the omega is a great place to start. Now, if you're looking at it, you're going, gosh, I can't even do that. Like I can only pick one. Well, then you get to decide, what does my body need most? Because as you're starting to do some of these things, and I'm gonna say the children's supplements also, the chewables, are another option. And then as you do it, as you kind of look at what it is that I need, then you can kind of customize it for you. All right, so this next slide, I really wanted to show, because when you're purchasing a packet of anything, like it's the foundational nutritional packet, there's a drop down menu that comes, and you can select up to 3 other products for way below wholesale. And I can't remember all the prices because they're just in my cart. So for me, I do the VMG, I do the omega, and I do the probiotic. So I do the restore one that's up on the left, and then I add another omega because I'm using twice as many every single day. I also add the Mito 2 Max and the Terrazyme, and I'm able to save that way. So as a gift, so doTERRA, the first time you buy you enroll and you do a 100 PV order, you get this little shaker bottle with the peppermint, or when you purchase your foundational wellness. We're happy to help you with more of those questions. Okay, so how do I get my products and why do I get them? I get them through rewards because I earn 30% back for every dollar that I spend. And there is not another rewards program out there that rewards like this. I wish that we should just say, okay, how many points do you have in your office, or how many do you think, this would be a really fun thing. It's like the jar with all the jelly beans. How many points do you think you've turned in over the last 10 years? Holy cow. It's thousands and thousands, you guys. I always have a lot of points because I'm ordering so many things, and I get to turn them in for some of those products that are a little bit more pricey, like the Helichrysum and the Melissa and different things like that. Okay, Sarah, you want to tell us about Diamond Club?
Yay! Of course I do. I'm super excited. I got accepted to Diamond Club, and when I say that this year, I legitimately mean that. They handpicked people for Diamond Club this year. They are not taking thousands. They only took hundreds, we'll say that. So I'm super excited. It starts next month, so September, October, November. Get a hold of me. I would love to do a workshop for you. I'd love to teach something. Hayley and I have something up our sleeve. I'm not going to announce it yet. I'm super excited to announce that, but there will be tons of giveaways. That's my hint. Every single month, every single Friday. And it's very, very exciting that I get to do this, and I get to present the best products in the entire industry. And I get to share some free things that doTERRA is going to sponsor me with.
One of the things I love most about Diamond Club, that's really kind of what kicked my business off years and years ago, is because I committed to teaching and traveling and, at least 3 classes. We had to travel 70 miles 3 times a month or something. I can't remember what the rules were, but they were a lot different. Like, we had to go out of town, but it got me out of my comfort zone. It got me teaching and sharing with people. And that's what I love, is being able to, like, I see Michael here and Bob. I don't think Bobby's on here. And it's like, how I got out to Missouri is through Diamond Club. I was challenged, and we had to go certain miles away, and we had to go there 4 times. So when I came the first time and met Bobby, it was like, okay, Bobby, I'm going to be coming back here once a month for 4 months. We'll see you again. And you guys, it turned into the first time, there was like, 6 people. And I think Kelly Messerly was like pulling people out of off the street. Come in, because she didn't really even understand what it was, and neither did I, because I was brand new. By the second time I came, people are going, oh my gosh, I wish I would have known. I'd have brought more people. By the 4th trip out there, you guys, we would have classes. We would have two a day, 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, and then we ended up having like a small workshop. I mean, we had probably 15 to 20 people at each one of those classes, and it was so much fun, and it's still just going strong out there. So Diamond Club really is a great opportunity to get out there and share what we love. Okay, you want to talk about referring a friend, Sarah?
I would love to. So there's been many times that people have asked me, so I don't want to do what you do, if that's the statement. I don't want to do what you do, but how do I tell someone that the Deep Blue Rub is fantastic or that the Copaiba has legitimately saved my life? And so when you log in, it actually automatically populates with a pop-up and it says, here's your refer a friend link. Would you like to share? And all you have to do is copy that link or click share. Very easy. It is so simple. And she has it in the bottom, right? You can see that it says copy link. You click the blue, you go to a text message, which is most convenient for people, or an email, and say, here you go. And they literally, you get the credit and you make money. So it's called doTERRA Cash, not doTERRA Points, completely different. And the doTERRA Cash you can actually use on everything. What's convenient about that is it can be for your re-enrollment, so your reactivation. It can be for shipping. You can use the doTERRA Cash for anything. And then I get the gift of blessing that person and continuing to educate that person with you.
So good. So good. All right, you guys, let's see. And that's it. So I'm going to stop my share. So we're going to open it up for questions, testimonials, recipes, protocols, anything that you guys want to share with us. But I want to remind you guys that just like when I started the call tonight, is like addiction is something that is flooding through the world. It is taking people out of the game. There are deaths that are happening nonstop. Families are affected, not only for the person who's dealing with it, but the family who loves and supports them. And we do have solutions. It may not be that, quick one and done, or I just want to take a pill and have it all go away. But in most cases, it's even faster if they'll give it a chance. And even when people are dealing with something really, really tough, now I tell you guys, on both of my hands, I could count life-altering, changing experiences that doTERRA has come through for me. And I can't imagine a day with it. We must unlearn what we've learned in the past and learn a new way. What is safe? What is effective? What's working? All of the different things that got us where we are today as a society. Do we really want to continue down that road, or do we want to do things different? Okay. Oh, Bobby is here. I'm glad. I can't always see everybody that's on here. Okay. Anybody who wants to go first? Sarah, you got your hand
Of
up?
course I do. I have this and I have to share this because my mom finally told me I could. So my mom is 70 years old. She was in Washington, D.C. for a real estate trip. She fell and tripped on a manhole and hit her chest, and she thought she just broke a rib. Continued to work, crazy woman, and then flew from Washington to Denver and Denver to home, and then had my stepdad pick her up and said, I got to go to the ER. She has a high pain tolerance. Got there. She popped her lung. And then when she got there, they immediately they're like, we don't have time. We don't have time to get you pain. We don't have anything. We got to put the tube in. So they popped through the tube, through her rib cage, got the tube in there. And they told her, we cannot believe how good of shape you're in right now. I promise you, how good shape you're in at 70 years old, you would have died. You only had 1% left before you went brain dead. 1%. And I have all these statistics, and I recorded the doctor, and I'm super, super excited because I'm finally getting to release some of this. But it was really cool. He said, your mom is the healthiest 70-year-old I have ever seen. And I can promise you it's because of how good she takes care of herself. And she turned to him. She was under, a little medication. And she said, it's my daughter's doTERRA stuff. And she takes all of the supplements. She does, you guys. And she takes half of the VMG because she produces too much iron. She has to have her iron pulled every 60 days. So she only does half of the VMG, and that's perfect for her. But she is literally a product of the product. And so I was super excited, and they said, hey, we got to get you some laxatives. So she's like, no, my daughter's got that covered. So I came, in with Revitazine, and I had all the things. And so she has her little counter, the tray table, and it's covered. And this lady walks in and she goes, should we write you a note or something? And she's like, well, even if you do, I'm just going to shove it in my bag so you can't take it from me. So I'm telling you right now, these supplements work. She's 70 years old, and they literally saved her life.
I love it. That's such a great testimonial. Thank you for sharing that. And so grateful for the products that she has been able to recover, right? And so it's awesome. Okay, who else? All right, Diane.
Okay, I'm going to speak to make things easy. Like, be ready. You know me. I carry oils in my purse. But I want to show you in my office, I have a pain blend already made up. It's got a dropper bottle. There's veggie caps right here. I've got my pain in the neck is here. Everything's here. Everything's labeled. Everything's ready to go. And that handsome guy that you saw around the corner, he knows where everything is. And so if he needs something, you can just come here and grab it. And it's just super easy to just get what you need when you need it. Because when you're in pain, you don't want to be looking for those 3 oils or those 5 oils or whatever. You just want it easy because you're in pain. You don't want to have to think. So, um, make it simple. If you have questions, reach out. Um, Learn all you can. Get the books. Watch the videos. Yeah,
Diane,
because
were you going to share with us about a test? Oh no, what? I can't remember. Somebody said they had a testimonial, and I can't remember.
well, I have lots of testimonials,
Hey, will
but
you tell us a little bit about your pain in the neck blend?
sure, it is equal parts Siberian fir, frankincense, and copaiba. And I put it together because I had an injury in my neck. And the typical things I was using, deep blue and um, whatever else, just wasn't working. And one day, and I had been to convention and they had come out with Siberian fir, I believe it was. And I was like, I don't know. I just kind of did it out of instinct, I think. Saw that all three of them, well, I know frankincense, but saw that the others were also good for inflammation. And so then I just put them all together. So equal parts of those in a 10 mil roller ball and then just fill with fractionated coconut oil. It also smells really good. And you can take it internally because all three of those you can take internally.
So with those drops, for so for you, if you're taking it internally, because you make it in a little dropper and carry it around in your purse, because I know you've handed them out before. Like how many drops do you put in your capsule?
So the one I carry around with me is actually not the pain in the neck. The pain in the
Oh,
neck I have in a roller ball that I carry with me, but the one I carry with me is frankincense, lemongrass, marjoram, and copaiba.
mm.
And again, I make it in a master blend. So I do equal parts frankincense, lemongrass, marjoram, but then I've added about half the amount of copaiba because it's good for everything. So I knew it wouldn't hurt. And it's in a master blend. So, but whatever fills up a veggie cap, I think it's about 12 drops maybe that
Mm.
fill up a veggie cap. So
Right on.
good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you. I know it doesn't matter where we are. If we're at an event or traveling or whatever, it's like, oh, hang on, I'll make you a veggie cap. She gets it out. Okay, anybody else have any questions, comments, testimonials? All right, you guys. Well, we're going to say goodnight. I'm so grateful for each one of you guys for coming. Gosh, it's so good to see you, Michael and Deb and Amy from Australia down under. Oh, they're having BOGOs in Australia. Did you see that? Okay, I did. I tried to tag you. I didn't know if you got it or I emailed or something. But so good to see all of you guys and super grateful for you. Have a really great night. And remember, do the research. Look, grab it. Grab your books. If it's been a while since you've had them out, or just grab one and get it on you. Put it in your pocket. And it just is so easy and so much fun. All right, you guys have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.